PR people, professional ones, were doing his publicity as efficiently. And remember they asked us for 100 more invitations, and they were sent out with Pasita's portrait, 5 by 7, for publication. And they took care of their own mailing list. Very. And then at some point, she came out with a book, and everybody was saying, "Oh, is it okay to print your own book, publish a book about yourself?" But of course, she found a publisher. But everybody was thinking about this. Is she being promoted too much, or is she just pushing herself too far? Like during her opening at this underwater paintings of hers, she wore a diving suit to compete with the. She was funny. She was very funny, and none of it was fake. She was real. She was real. Very strong.
For yourself, how did you look at it, like, even in the terms of the efficiency and the management of another artist?
Yeah, because we were running a gallery then, so it was very important how you push an artist. We would get newspapers for all the promo and Labanan. So I was kind of out of it because I was still a student. And I wasn't showing in the gallery because it wasn't for me. I built the gallery because I was furious at the established people who refused to show me and my classmates, one of them being Mulawin, Amuelva. We thought with Mulawin, we were a group of 5, we thought with Mulawin, they would, "Oh, sure, come, you're the son of Abuel." No, we were told, I was told, "You know, your lolo, Juan Arellano, is he your lolo?" Well, like an Uncle Lolo. Yeah. Up to now, he's still not appreciated here. So, something like, "Why don't you go back to your studio?" I wanted to know, wait until your lolo gets recognized before you present this thing to me. And I thought, wow, shit, man. Well, so I have a project. I have to have a gallery that will show, like, Joe Bautista wanted to show the innards of the wall. He cut a hole through the wall. In the gallery, you could do anything you want as long as you didn't kill the trees, as long as the walls were repairable.
Yeah.
Anyway, it led me to this whole consideration of how you must push the artists that you're showing in your gallery.
Brenda? Insight on that.
I just saw Pasita giving a workshop at the main gallery of the CCP. I remember I admired her for her energy. And she was seated on the floor with the participants cutting color paper and things like that. So I thought that was nice to observe. And then I saw a video of her polka dots ba yun sa bridge or something. Oo. Singapore. And sabi ko, wow, ang energy niya hanggang sa bridge, sa paabot siya. Para siyang si Cristo. Yung Cristo wrapping all those buildings and all that. So because he's our version of a Cristo, because he worked with the bridge. And then I was able to get a book about Pasita, her works. And I don't know if it was a catalog or what, and I treasured it very much in my library. And that's all. Now I see the book is small, a small square book, but I see her paintings. It's big squares out there. So it's yun lang naman.
But you were familiar with that in 1980.
Yung kay sa
Yeah,
Paraya,
and
hindi.
how it was
Hindi.
So, ano,
Pero yung mga ganun, eh kasi medyo narrow yung understanding pag EOYM, dapat L talaga. Eh, di ba?
But again, anyway, let's stay with you there. Kasi I'm doing that, I brought it up because I want to get started on points of alienation, on being a woman and an art practitioner. Kasi, well, barely, Ye quotes this in their essay, and it's both by you and Theo. You bring up a point made by Ian Finlay Brown in one of his books about Pasita. That Pasita employed this sort of connecting while being disconnected, and that's why I wanted to really uncover, maybe sort of provoke a response from each of you. What would be the most alienating aspect in your own? And I want to contextualize it, Sana, because you went into it. All of you have been involved, not just in the arts, but social engagements. You've been very socially engaged, having also grappled with, but also worked with the institutions of this country towards arts and culture. So I'd like to go ask each of you about that. What were the alienating aspects that you had to grapple with deciding on doing this kind of work and not just focusing on art itself, but the impact of art making across communities and what it should do for our state as a country also.
Ako yung I think alienation is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's very good because it allows you to detach yourself from sentimentality and be more objective about what you're seeing. So alienation is a very good thing. This is what Bertolt Brecht did with theater, so that you could go home. He provokes you so that you could think and reflect on what he's showing you. And so being an artist, I think we should do that. It's good to be alienated. If you get too sentimental with what you're doing, you're not saying anything. You're just like self-pitying yourself or something like that. But to alienate is to give yourself an aesthetic distance, being able to see what's happening in a more objective manner. All of us in our daily life should take it, detach ourselves sometimes from what's bothering us so that we can easily solve it.
And what? We want to take that up, if that was ever something that you recognize as something that you had to grapple with as a woman working towards. You did still, everything that we did, each of you with each of your accomplishments, you changed something in the way we conduct arts here in this country. You have contributed to that. So I wanted to just come from it.
I can just remember an incident when there was this big show at the Asia Society in New York, and my tatlong budang ina was there, and we had to speak to this big audience. And I didn't know what to say, but I realized while my mouth was opening itself that I was saying, I didn't realize until I saw this gaggle of geese, and I was talking about the women who were actually really interested in my work, and I called them a gaggle of geese. I didn't realize that I was speaking for anybody else but myself because of my grudge against the Catholic Church and my worship of a female deity in lieu of the jealous Jehovah. That's what was in my head. But when I saw this group of women, really, I was impressed. I mean, I didn't realize until then. I was kind of alienated because I was so into my bitterness, I guess, and I wanted to wreak vengeance and stuff like that, and prove to these priests that I was still a good woman, even if I wasn't a virgin. Diba? Napirap mo, pag nag-virginize ka na, excommunicated ka na, and how will you live the rest of your life? Telling lies every week at the confessional? Ridiculous. I don't know if that answers any question, but that's what
Thank you for bringing it at that level. Yes, indeed. No? The body of power and resentments, and then it's being appreciated. How about you?
Well, as a foreigner, as a woman, I found here in the country a lot of resistance. I am I speak my mind. But really alienation, I always found it as a challenge. I just go my way. I never talk too much about other people. I have my project, I execute them. I go wherever they talk bad in my shoulder, wherever, I don't care. I go forward because this will distract me. And it will too much, as I say, being a foreigner, you have no father, no mother, no sister, you have a different way of thinking. So you're really by yourself. And even if I will ask some Filipino friend of mine, they have a completely different idea of what I come from. And so I always I have an idea, I have a certain idea, I try to learn as much as possible, and I love the country. I love my husband, and I have kids that are Filipino, so my major focus was to really protect Philippine arts. And this has been my drive all along. So I've never been affected by all this bad talk that they were about me or not me, having lover, not lovers, and having whatever I have, I never done. Whatever they speak, and I don't care. And that's I go forward. So all my career, I've been going forward and forward and forward. That has been a trait that my father was in concentration camp during the German invasion of my country. He was 2 years in concentration camp. A lot of Italians were killed because you kill one German, you kill 10 Italians. And his way was focus, forward, forward, forward. And this is something I inherited. I inherited that I believe at the time as a young woman, I like history, I like art. I saw that the Filipino did not have so much respect for antiquity, so much respect for their own history. And so I start from 95 and even before 95 to document every single artwork that passed through my gallery. So we have almost 20,000 artwork encoded. And I will one day, as soon as I find that there is a good institution that really, really will take care of this treasure of knowledge, then I plan to give it. So my focus has been really to give the Filipino that are part of my country, because I live here for 47 years already, back their history and for them to take treasure. So as I say, everything has become more of a challenge. You see, it's not something that will push me down. Actually, the more you put me down, the more I resurrect.
No, I forgot what your
Yeah, coming from this point of alienation, what would be your narrative, especially in your own work in initiating advocacies and work community?
Yung work ko, I just do them naturally and respond naturally. But when I finish them, sasabihan ako, you're too political or you're too analytical. Masyado daw akong pinag-aaral politics and that. Actually, hindi. Kasi I also work from my instinct, what I feel. I work with materials. Often I start not knowing what I will do, but just converse with my materials. Pero siguro when I'm not creating, I really think about the political situation of the world, country, and so parang it saves me from being alienated because I just work from my subconscious and let it flow. Even if I work on problems of the country. And I like working instinctively, just like Pasita or anything, but short of that, I wish I were freer. Like, sometimes I hold myself back because I'm bothered as what am I going to say. Sometimes I criticize.
So that kind of play is important.
Yeah, the
Just
play is
play.
important. Maybe I have to remove that part of me so that I can create more freely. But that's how I am.
I don't know if I talked about what you were. Yeah, so maybe we could pursue that. You know, what would be freedom for an artist? What or as a woman? What? Let's go more into that. Maybe what would you tell us? You think that there's you've decided on some restrictions on the play that the kind of play that we see, you know, in Pasita Abad's work. So, what do you think constitutes freedom for, not just as a woman artist with like such a category, but for an arts practitioner?
Well, the freedom to use whatever kind of material you want to use.
Yeah.
To say a point of view that hopefully is different from what others normally would think. Hopefully, I would bring out something that somebody didn't think of, and it will open one's mind. That's a desire of an artist, but of course you put that at the back of your head and just work freely as you converse with your material.
Silvana, does the galleries get to play?
Sure. When Emilio Cruz has this big problem with CCP, he was going to have an exhibit with me the months after. Everybody was telling me, cancel it, cancel it, cancel it. You're going to have so much problem. And I said, well, the more publicity, the better it is. More people will come in. But I was not scared. I think that we are in 21st century. I think that we have to take a certain kind of courage to let our mind. And then the country needs courageous people. The country needs people that speak their mind. The upheaval that happened with Emilio Cruz is, I believe, it was a fault of the CCP, who did not put the right barrier, not the artist the way he expresses himself.
It's more political than...
Well, they did not put forbidden to 18 years old, so there was certain thing and the...
No, we had the disclaimer.
Yeah, after, but not so big. Not so big. Yeah, I know, but I also went through all I went to the Batasa Papasano, the thing there. And I think the artist should be able to, a museum, even if it is a national museum, should have the freedom of expressing himself, but the museum itself has to have much bigger way of discerning who are the people that are mature and not mature to go in. But anyway, this thing I think sometimes it's like now you cannot have nudes because they are born again. Sorry if you are born again. But you know, the human body from Michelangelo has been exposed from the Greek, from the Roman, and nobody put malice on it, and now here we have a different way of thinking. So I think we must have courageous. They're in a country like here that we have so much to learn, so much to go forward. We have to have the courage to express ourselves. And for me, it's very necessary. That's why we did also with the Angel Show, we did a community project where the children from a neighbor and other people were able to interact with gallery. And we make many times these children come inside. Because I believe personally that we have to educate the masses. The greatest talent comes from the people itself. So it's been always my objective to go forward, and this takes courage. This takes courage, and you go against certain people who does not understand. So you have to have, that's why time to be able to engage in conversation and excite the young men and excite the young minds and give them, you know, we have to bring Philippines and the students and the poor at a certain moment that they will grasp the importance of their as a human being, how important they are. So this is my vision really for, so challenge is important and you have to face it and think, of course, hoping they don't kill your children. You know. But you have to be courageous and you have to believe in your country and you have to live in the human spirit and in the faculty of being. So I never been scared of challenges. Yeah.
But just to be clear,
Even in my business, the same, even in my business, because most of my business, I never put up an exhibit thinking that I'm going to make money. I never did. I put up an exhibit because I love the art. Point. That is my point.
always a point of risk, not zero.
I took also art management. I'm sorry. Art management tells me that I should not. I should first evaluate
To be courageous. Yes.
I believe that I am 70 years old. I had a big life, I had a great life. I went around the world. I saw many countries that were women that like us were able to give so much to their own country. And then even if we do a little bit like that, as long as we do it, I believe we are important. It's important for Tramandic, the fire, the idea, the ideology, and whatever we stand for. So in my gallery, I thank God I always been able to support the gallery. We have 35, I opened in 1975, so many years, 43 years. So I always been able to support the gallery and the gallery support me, so vice versa. You know, so I had side jobs to support the gallery and the ITV revolutions. But like her, it was not easy time, right? Revolution or revolution to the side of his,
Silvana, you risk it. Anyway, I was just going to tell you that we did have disclaimers and we were careful about the age, the audience, the age of the audience. But I'm guessing, just to bring back the question, what should we do in terms of freedom for our practitioners? What do you think should we have more of? Looking at the kind of freedom expressed by Rosita's work, materials, and of course, cruising, like a good traveler to these different topics.
ever since I began, there's been a lot of freedom given the artist.
Mm.
I remember I was so proud that in our gallery, the artist could paint the tree blue and hang shards to depict the aftermath of the nuclear explosion, for instance, or cut turf from the ground to do Bermuda Triangle. That was beautiful. I just have to talk about the work. He cut up, Joe Bautista, he cut up a triangle on the Bermuda grass and he propped it up so that, and then he put a mirror here at the bottom triangle. So the mirror would show you the turf, the soil, the earth, at the same time the sky. Frida.
Mm.
Like Silvana says, you just have to be brave and do what you want. If you think it's the only way to make your point art-wise, no holds barred. I attended erotica show once at the Crucible. I was the only female. And I had cast my triangle. when I was in Vermont on a grad, we were going back and forth New York for that show. So I only had very little time. I decided I'd use new materials from there, and there was new casting material. So I just shaved my other face. And my teacher did this cast of my crotch. I did it in wax and I showed it in this show, Eros Pinoy. And the establishment had to put a sign. The galleries had to put a sign saying for adults only. And they put my work by the glass, but they put this for adults only. Covering my work. Well, that doesn't deter me. That never deterred me. I think if some people think my work is obscene, sorry.
So you've been censored.
Yeah. I didn't show my temple to the sun god here because I was scared of the church. I don't know what they might do to me. I just didn't want to be noticed. But I did show it in Japan, and all the women were so happy. It's crazy because the woman was the curator was a woman, and she said as soon as they saw the army of dicks, the children got scared when they saw the scary faces, but the women were all happy. In Japan, apparently at that time, the women were still very repressed. So this was like a big outing with an army of dicks on the floor. This high.
But you were okay, how did you take that when you were censored?
I loved it.
You loved it.
Another time I was questioned there was a show in New Acquisitions of the Singapore Art Gallery, and the Straits Times journalist called me by phone to ask me if I had something to say about them putting this, what do you call that, disclaimer?
Yeah,
There's sex, be wary.
Contempt.
Take care, your eyes
no minors.
might see sex here, or something like that. So I said, but that's okay. Because the moon goddess couldn't be pregnant if she hadn't had sex. I didn't mind. I liked it that I provoked them enough for them to ask me silly questions. I don't know what to say.
But that's good because we need to look and about freedom, of course we need to talk about censorship, our own encounters with it here, no, or abroad. So, maybe Brenda could also tell us more about it. Because I want a different freedom that she actually brought in censorship, was Agnes. So,
The very essence of being an artist, I think, is to be a free being.
yes.
Diba? Otherwise, people won't see what's going on really. So, well, yun lang.
Have you had encounters in dealing with censorship in your own work?
Hindi ko napansin. Pero siguro tama ko. But usually, like my latest work, I made it allegorical. You know? So I knew that people might, react. So,
But it's part of the play, isn't it? Also
Yeah.
playing games with the mind. So.
you make it allegorical, or you sort of like, you subvert it. As long as you're trying to convey a message, you hope that the message will be received by the people. But so that those who will censor you won't understand it anyway.
Laruin sila.
Because you're using a different language that they're not familiar with.
Yeah.
They come from a different world. The artist comes from a different world. We have our own language. Yun lang. So you feel free to, do what you like to do.
So the domain of art as a But if there's anyone that I worked with,
Unexpectedly, I was censored once. And guess where? In New York. It was a county gallery. And what did they censor? The female bulul with the vagina I placed in my painting, and they put it down. But it was a government gallery, and they said it was offensive. So I didn't put it.
I was also censored.
Yeah.
The female bulul with the vagina.
But the vagina then is just
It's just
diamond.
Imelda, remember that we also had our own censorship encounter when we did Who Owns Women's Bodies? Do you still recall that? Yeah. I think that it was in Lipa. We were told to remove one of my works. Yes, I still remember that. There's so many encounters. Yes. I remember that my work was about using glue as something like seminal fluid, scattering over the Virgin Mary, who has to be placed on. Inanang laging sa klolo, the one in the But I didn't know that. It was only because she was the curator for that traveling show, and she told me that they had problems with it.
It was in Batangas City Hall, which we considered a gallery.
So what was the solution? How did you
A lot of
resolve it?
explanation, curatorial and artistic.
How was the Virgin Mary?
I did a work that was meant for the floor, and the image of the Mother Perpetual Health was on it. And then I put thorns, and also the glue was made into something like it's just that scattered. I actually was not thinking of semen at that point, but they did. I think they saw it as something like that. White glue, because it's white glue. What do you call it? For the glue gun. Yeah, we want to know your censorship.
I was engaged by Philippine Italian Association every year to make this dinner, and we wanted to share our culture with the Filipino people, so we do a great dinner. So I made, at the time, was a Florentine dinner, so I had asked an artist to make me a Michelangelo as big, a David as big as David, or Michelangelo. And of course, you know that Michelangelo David is naked. So it was perfect, very well made. I come back the next day when we brought it there, and then I see there is a big fix in front of the penis of David. And I said, what are they doing? This thing has been exposed for 500 years, and here they put a fig sleeve. So I went to the director, there was a board of director, and they said, you are so, we cannot show this to the children. And I said, that is crazy. My country has been there for 500 years. I cannot show here to the children. So I had to resign from my position because the censor of the Polo Club
This
wanted.
was when?
Oh my God, in the 80 something. Yeah. And that's it. So they put the fig leaves and the fig leaves stayed. So it was the only time that David was covered. So I found it very funny.
Yeah, but yeah,
That was my resignation.
that was how you resolved it.
But there is no way else, right? I didn't want to destroy everything.
I would say that as women, working with not just as artists ourselves, but working with others, curating for others. More often, the Western Field is also about doing that, not just your own, but you also realize that you have to do something about protecting that freedom for others. So, I'd like to know, you've all worked with government at some point. None of us are active anymore with the NCCA, CCP, but yes, there was a time when we were. I'd like to get your insight on government support for, how do we work with this country towards art development? And and then also, what do you think should we be doing more with government? Gusto ko sana malaman, why did, like for example, you work with yes, for heritage, right?
No,
NCCA,
cultural
cultural heritage.
Yes, I was. But before this, I also worked with CCP.
Yes.
When we started
So,
together,
looking into that, how
we become more of an ethical organization, because gallery at the time, really there was no any school, and it was very difficult also to employ the right people, because you don't have the cultural preparation like art history, and getting people like this. They will come in, they will stay very short. And in a gallery you need somebody who is really between artistic, little marketing, but we were very few. We were only 2 or 3 people. So, but we wanted to create Ray, and especially Elizabeth Chan. I don't know if you remember her. She was the artist who used to make the mosaic. That was her idea, actually, to upgrade the level of gallery. And so at the time, it was me, it was Mrs. Guerrero, it was Odette Alcantara. We were, but very few, because having very few people in a gallery, many times people did not want also to spend the time. Then in '92, I was invited by the NCCA, but this is all voluntary. Okay, so they will give you 180 pesos for the day you spend there, and then you try to upgrade the business. So we sent like a person with a Bacato to go all around Philippines and check all the galleries that they exist and the form of engagement in dealing with the business as a gallery. We have a certain idea how a gallery should be. And so that's what we did. Unfortunately, there is so much, the secretariat of the NCCA, many times, they cut off their founding, they had their own idea. And so this book that we were coming out, unfortunately, that we worked almost a year on it, has to be, we did not accept it because they had manipulated certain part of it, and we were upset because we were saying, how dare you manipulate and change our statement when you never been in a gallery? So why do you need, us as an expert, and you give to, and then you're able to change it? So that was one. So sometimes they change it. They change things, because they cut budget and they have this kind of thing. But I must say that we had the first exhibit like fair, and we had documentation, and we did a lot of project of research. So there is a good and the bad. But we have to look at the faraway aims of what we have to do. We cannot just be blocked by the thing that they don't want us to do. So you have to think, will this give us, or how do you escape what you do? But we send artists, for example, abroad. We were able to make funding for artists to go to the Venice Biennale. It's not only Mrs. Legarda who did it, we did it before, because we sent activism to the Venice Biennale. We were able to gather money. Of course, he did not represent Philippines, he represented, he was chosen by the curator of the Biennale of the Southeast Asia. So also Monica Meadow were able to go, so many other artists were able to go. So these were all things that we were able to achieve, that the NCCA will give certain money to do, and that we will get sources for money from others.
Those are the pros and cons.
Yeah.
So what do you think, what else? Since, okay, so you're not so active in that now, but what should government do more now?
Well, you have to have really a lot of bright people inside there with a lot of vision. The thing is that, like for the gallery, it's a very taxing job. It's a really very, you have to have, it takes a long time, and then since you have 5 committees, not only the committee on gallery, then you have the committee on archive, you have the committee on museum, you have the way of stimulation. So you need, for me, it should be a ministry already, where there are really the right people who will have a program, 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years program ahead of them. And it should not have to do anything with politics. There are too much
change.
Yeah. We should not be under any president or no president, and because they are limited. They are very limited, they are constrained when you are under a government, when you are employed by a government. And also voluntary is up to a certain point. So the boss will change.
I'm saying this because it's rather tricky, isn't it? Because to instill change, a woman, especially amongst the arts practitioners that we know of here, we do understand that we need to go cooperate with government, find ourselves really working with its programs. But also, on the other side, we also need to resist.
But you see, I don't think about woman or man. I never thought of that.
No, of course not.
For me, this is passé.
Yeah.
We are individual. We are individual, and we are society member. Women or people who say I'm Filipino, no Filipino. I mean, it's such a useless thing. It's like I would say 100 times I am Italian. Here a lot of artists say I'm Filipino. Of course you are.
No,
You are part of it, so we have to, this feminism, monofeminism, this has to stop. Because we are member of society. I give birth, I work 10 hours a day, I'm part of society, so give me a break.
But Silvana,
It's too much. You have to impose that.
I've been asked by someone I was married to, what are you fighting for anyway? So, but exactly, I'm just saying that this kind of initiatives change the picture, isn't it? No. Especially after martial law, the kind of governance that built the CCP for us, and we're supposed to be grateful for something like the CCP. But then the gates opened, and it opened to grassroots participation. And many of the women leaders in the arts practice were active in that. That's what I was pointing out. Because I would still say it's a feminine transformation, a different way of developing, a different way of struggling for the arts, different from what we expect, like a 10 outstanding young men point of view. That this is a male-dominated field, and it's about a linear trajectory of what spells success. To us, we are not successful if we're going to be alone about it. This is what I know as a woman artist. I don't think I will feel fulfilled if I am just the one getting the gains. I feel that gains have to be always it's an environment of gain. It's an environment of change. And as a woman, I really feel that we have changed the game by saying that we contribute, we do something about it. We don't just rant, not just Facebook it.
I never think of that. I really never think of that. Maybe because you come from a society that there is also division, men and women. I come from a society where there was not that. It was a matter of brain.
Yeah.
I'm intelligent, so there is the challenge.
Yes.
But never that I'm a woman or a man. I am a person of society. I am indispensable to upgrade my society. It is my duty, what we call noblesse oblige. If you are to a better position, it is your duty to love your country. It is your duty to do the best. And so this is my standpoint.
Yeah.
I do because I am a human being and because I have to be a productive person, but not as a female. A female I never thought, because female we go back to the suffragette. But it's true in the Philippines that we go to the province, there is still this big problem. But it's women like you, like her. Maybe not me, because as a foreigner, I still have a foreigner, but they see me as this. But I think we must project the courage but not because we are female. No, female, you fight because the cause is just.
Let's take Imelda's perspective on it. Do you agree with what Silvana says, or are we really in a situation that there's something
But
particular?
some women who are really independent and fighters don't like to call themselves feminists. But
Yes.
they only look at themselves because they are free and strong.
Mm.
But if you look at the situation of other women around us, that's why we have Kasibulan, and I think you are feminist if you don't only fight for yourself, but for your fellow women. But I respect the approach,
Yeah.
because there are strong women who do not like to be feminist, but they have won, very courageous, they have won, they want to fight for their rights. But if you look at the others, it's a constant fight. I mean, and now it's not only feminism, it's so many genders. So, depends how much patience, and you have to be so dynamic. It's not static.
Yeah.
Everything changes. So sometimes you don't want to call yourself a feminist anymore, but you have to see that you have to keep fighting for women's rights, especially in this administration, which is so misogynist. I
We'll go,
we should
yeah,
see
we'll go with
that.
that. In fact, that will be a proper ending to our. I'll connect from you to Brenda about having to join. With regard to the public, the policies, and we come to a point that sometimes we join them, sometimes we fight them, right? So I'd like to go into that.
Well, when we were preparing for our recent exhibit at the Esquinita Gallery, Julie said, don't label it as the works of female artists. And it made sense, because the more you do it, the lalo mong alienate nga yung women, di ba? So, I thought it made sense, but it took me like 3 hours to think about it.
Julie was our KA crush was the very first.
Yeah. So I was wondering that, tama nga naman, ano? So yun, tama din si Silvana, tayo
Yeah.
tao, hindi naman, so what, kung
Tama.
anong gender mo dyan. But the nationalism, the same. Being nationalistic is a dangerous thing eh, kasi
Yeah.
nasa political domain ka eh.
Yeah.
So hindi ka sa human domain, di ba? So ayun, maging tao na lang tayo kaya. Ganun na lang. Di ba mas masaya?
At gusto natin magpakatao ang gobyerno.
Ayoko nang pakialaman yung hindi naman nila tayo nahalagaan in the right sense eh. Yun, di ba? I mean, we must go on as we are and improve our life situation with or without government, better without.
So we're all the more
It doesn't mean we go against government. We pay attention
Yeah.
and observe. Be very keen in your observation. Eyes, ears, ganyan. Huwag kayong magsasara ng mata, huwag kayong magsasara ng tenga. But please lang, we really have to wake up our senses about the government.
That's why education is essential. Education is essential.
Gusto ko na talaga mag-Gabriela sila. Kaya na yung marunong gumamit ng armas.
Kamay.
Tsaka mga bayo. Diyos ko, masakit ang hita ako. Ay, naku. Ay,
You work with CCP, if you run a private gallery. You actually initiated a lot of our exchanges even before we went into the Biennales, before the Venice Biennale. It was Agnes that invested herself and her resources in bringing Filipino artists to international, to these international events. Right?
Yes.
You know, never forget.
Dapat sinusulat pa dyan.
Thank you, yes. 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 What's your, so I would like to look into the pros and cons of doing these processes with government. Like I said, maybe we find ourselves into situations of joining them and sometimes fighting them, government and policies, or it doesn't matter.
Well, to deal with it, it's so bureaucratic.